Welcome back to the Golf Fit Athletics podcast. Today, we have a special guest for you, Carl Horne. He is the inventor of TrueTurn. He also is the owner and founder of Into One Wellness Studio. He is a former NBA strength and conditioning coach, also a rehabilitation specialist. He is a loving husband, a father to 4 children, an avid golfer, and also competed on the Arizona AGA competitive golf tour. So welcome, Carl, to the show. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. After all that, I'm a little tired, actually. I suddenly have a great feeling of fatigue just come over my body.
You're like, wait a second, how much have I actually done in my life?
Oh man, it's been fun. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of work, a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you. I got my TrueTurn.
Ah, look at that.
So I've pulled it out of the box. I've got it set up to my settings.
Okay.
I watched all the videos last night and the day before, and I'm going to start going through the program, and I'm super excited. Like,
nice.
When I first pulled, it was so funny because when I first pulled it out of the box, I was like trying to figure out, like, how do I get this thing to like lock in? Like, because it has the rotators on there.
Right.
For some reason, I didn't realize that the knob was the lock. And then after watching the video, they did a great job of explaining, well, the knob locks everything in. And once I figured that out, it was like easy as cake,
Sure. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it is super interesting. So with Golf Fit Athletics, I'm very Golf Fit Athletics is very special to me. So I'm not going to promote a product that like I don't think will benefit my viewers. But like this is a tool that has so much science behind it. So before we get into the science of the tool, can you tell us a little bit more about your story and about your journey and how you got to this?
Wow. Yeah, sure. Well, I've told this story so many times, and it seems to come out a little different each time because I try to keep it raw and keep it real, I've been a movement fanatic all my life. From the time I could remember, so I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in Nebraska. I'm a Cornhusker fan. And in the Midwest, our houses are pretty large, man. We have a basement, ground level, upstairs, and an attic. So there are 4 levels to pretty large houses. I grew up in a house, I would say that's, with all 4 levels, it had to be close to 3,000 square feet. Okay. So what I would do, just naturally, I would scale all 4 levels of the house without ever touching the floor. I'm talking about, using my fingers to laterally move over beams, crawling through holes, inching my way down a laundry chute, walking up the side rails or the handrails of the staircases or whatever.
Yeah.
And I do that every day. And I had no idea that I was doing indoor parkour. This is in the 60s, bro. I'm 57 years old, man. And I could see it as it happened just a few minutes ago. I mean, all the time, always climbing, always, feeling out my body, what it could do in time and space and balance and strength and concentration, that led into gymnastics. I grew up a gymnast. I competed in gymnastics from the time I was 10, right before junior high school, all through high school, all through junior high school, and then all through high school. And I had hopes of competing in college. The University of Nebraska, which is where I went to school, the first 3 years of my education, it's at that time we were in the Big 12 conference and a powerhouse gymnastics school. So I had no chance of making that team, but I had the dream. I was a state level competitor, tumbling and vault, did some pommel horse and some high bar and some rings. And so I'm always feeling out my body. I graduated at high school at 5'7". I went to college at 6 foot. I grew 4 inches that summer, threw my equilibrium completely off. And luckily for me, growing up, I had a very, I would say, talking about my grandma, they broke the mold when they made my grandmother, bro. She was something else. She had me into all types of things. I grew up in the inner city, and I would go outside and run to the car because my grandma had me tap dancing. I was dancing all through my childhood. And what I meant by run to my car is I didn't want my friends to see my tap shoes, because that's a hard thing to live down in the hood, Brian. I don't know. You running outside with your tap shoes, your boys they're gonna give you a hard time about that. So on and off, I fought my grandmother about dancing. And I was exposed to ballet. I was exposed to modern dance. I was exposed to tap and tumbling at a very, very early age, and on and off through my childhood. So to circle back, when I went to college, I had hoped to be a gymnast, but I ended up being a dancer. I became a dancer. I minored in dance. I was a health science major with the fine arts minor. And I saw a ballet when I was in 12th grade, senior in high school. I saw a ballet. The Dance Theater of Harlem came to Omaha, Nebraska, and blew my mind. I never seen human beings move that way, so powerfully, so gracefully, so effortlessly, through the air, on the ground. It was amazing. Changed my life. So for a few years, I thought I wanted to do that. I thought I wanted to be a professional dancer. And I actually did. I became a professional dancer with a company in Colorado called the Cleo Parker Robinson Dance Ensemble. It's a contemporary ballet company, modern, Afro-modern company in Denver, Colorado. And so I pursued that. I danced with Cleo. I did some dancing in California, New York. Cleo travels the country every year, and so that was an incredible experience for me. While I was dancing, whenever one of the dancers would get injured, which was quite often, just little injuries, they would always come to me as if I knew what I was doing. I mean, and I didn't know at the time. As a healer, I was a natural healer, but I didn't realize that at the time. So I was applying ice, heat, wrapping, joints, stuff that I hadn't been trained to do, just doing naturally, just being an athlete and being in tune with my body. And it kind of sparked an interest in me that was actually ignited in high school. I took a kinesiology class in high school. And that also paved a huge part of my professional interest, because it's the study of the human body, right? So I really got involved in not just moving my body, but learning the science behind the movement, right? So I started studying kinesiology in high school, which really kind of, it gave me the direction to move towards medicine. So my second go around of school, I stopped dancing and I moved to Los Angeles, and I became a pre-physical therapy, pre-med major. And I attended school at Cal State Dominguez Hills and El Camino College. And, while I was in school, I did a research paper, and I had the opportunity to interview the director of physical therapy at one of the, I didn't know at the time, one of the largest, most respected sports medicine clinics in the world. It's called Los Angeles Sports Medicine. And a lot of professional teams, a lot of professional athletes. Dude, I had no idea what I was walking into. Anyway, interviewed her. She liked me. We had a connection. So after school, once I was done at Cal State, I found myself working for the Los Angeles Sports Medicine Clinic. And there's a doctor by the name of Dr. Anthony Daly, who has since passed, but he was my mentor. He saw something in me. I don't know what it was, but I'm so fortunate and grateful that whatever it was, he decided he took me and he placed me underneath his wing, and I was there absorbing the physical therapy world for about 5 years. And so my 5 years of full-time clinical experience at the Los Angeles Sports Medicine Clinic is my backbone for understanding human movement, human function, joint function, and optimization, and all that I've come to know about human movement and why we're able to do the things that we can do, which we can do some amazing stuff, man. These parkour athletes are unbelievable. That the athletes that are appearing on the golf course are unbelievable, man. The game is changing. The world is changing. I mean, sports medicine is really, really changing the way that we see and expect humans to perform. I remember, growing up, I grew up just so interested in track and field. My first love was track. I ran track from the age of 8 to 16. And I was a sprinter. And back in those days, in 70s and 80s, a 10-second 100-yard dash was fast, right? And now we got Olympic athletes who are running 100 meters in almost 2 seconds faster, and that's 10 yards longer. Usain Bolt, my man, unreal. I mean, just human performance just blows my mind. I don't care what it is, man. We could talk about ping pong, badminton, scuba diving, free diving. How about these free divers that go underwater? They're down there for 7 minutes. Come on, man. I mean, it all blows my mind. So while working at the Los Angeles Sports Medicine Clinic, I ended up having an opportunity to become the strength and conditioning coach for the Los Angeles Clippers. Dr. Anthony Daly happened to be the team doctor for the Clippers. And that opened up a whole new door for me. And I found myself at 26 years of age being responsible for about $300 million worth of athletes. Swallow that, right? I mean, yeah, he's like, I had this opportunity. I think you'll be great for it. I want you to, fill out the application, go through the process. So I was hired by the Los Angeles Clippers in 1990 as their strength coach and their rehabilitation specialist. So I had the opportunity to work with what I consider one of the world's finest athletes. The NBA athlete is an amazing athlete in terms of the physical demands that are required to play the game at a high level. And back when I was in the league, I was dedicated to working with just NBA athletes for about 10 years, from like 90 to 2000. That's all I did. And that brought me to, I left the Clippers in 95 and I moved to Arizona, which is where I reside now. Traveled with the Phoenix Suns as an independent contractor, working with a number of their players. And, Arizona is a mecca for golf. And that's where I got bit, man. I got bit by the golf. I want to call him a viper. The golf, man.
It's not a bug, it's a viper, huh?
Yeah, boy, we're talking. I've been able to. So let me back up just a little bit. I spent about 5 years as pursuing professional dance, and I was fortunate and able enough. I had the ability, shall I say, to accomplish that goal. Became a professional dancer, and I did that for a short period of time. It was very difficult. I loved it, and it came to me. I did that, right? In high school and college, I was a dedicated martial artist. I have a black belt in Korean art of Taekwondo. I've studied some Hapkido, some Shotokan, some Judo, and some Jiu-Jitsu. And I live my life every day. Every breath I take is as a martial artist. These things from my early indoor parkour they came, and I say this humbly, it wasn't very difficult for me to achieve these things, but I'm making the comparison to learning how to play golf, which was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Dude, professional ballet dancer, black belt. I studied yoga before yoga was cool. Golf is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, Ryan. It killed me, man. It was so elusive because I could do so many things with my body. I had so much room for error. I had all this flexibility. I had no idea where my club was for years. Dude, I developed a really good short game because I couldn't hit it to save my life. I had no idea where my club was, nor where my ball flight would go. I would hit it in hope every time because I had so much room for error. And, being a biomechanical geek like I am, I broke the swing down, bro. Trust me, before TPI came along, I anatomically and biomechanically broke the golf swing down. I studied Hogan, I studied Snead, I studied Palmer. This is when Tiger was fresh on the scene. I mean, I got bit by it really bad. And one of my goals was I wanted to accomplish in the PGA what I did in the NBA. And I was like, you know what? I want to train golfers. And I had the opportunity to train some really, really cool golfers, some really high level golfers. One of the marquee players was an LPGA player by the name of Cheyenne Woods, and Cheyenne is Tiger's niece. Mm-hmm. I met Cheyenne when she was in the 9th grade. She grew up in Arizona, in Phoenix, and I had the opportunity to work with Cheyenne for years and years, all through high school, all through college, and her first several years on the tour. And what an incredible human being. A great experience for me, learning how to serve the golf athlete. And I worked with many, many other golfers, helping them understand joint function and how to best utilize their bodies for the game of golf, which is very intricate. As you know, golfers are delicate athletes. We're becoming more power athletes now, but still there are delicacies there that have to be respected and I think served. So that was a long answer to a very big question. How did I get from nowhere to having developed the world's first thoracic spine isolation device, and that's the TrueTurnPro, and what it's all about and how it can help everyone who has 2 arms, 2 legs, and a spine. Right.
I love it. I love how you tied in every experience that you've had and every skill that you've had to come up with where you are now and what you've been able to produce, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
And I think that a lot of it too, not to get too philosophical, but there's a reason why we have these things that we're naturally gifted at, or that we can naturally do, right? And all of those things that naturally took place allowed you to get to the place where you're learning golf and you're like, wait a second, why is this so difficult? So then that posed a new question for you.
Correct.
Why am I having such a hard time with this? But I'm so naturally gifted at all of these other things, Yeah. And so you had mentioned that you broke down the swing. So what did you find over the course of learning golf and learning about the strength and power, learning about the finesse that's required? What did you learn that really helped you get into where your swing is very consistent and you're able to compete on a higher level? Because you did compete in Arizona.
Correct.
So what was it? Just putting in the reps over time?
It was it was I learned some hard lessons. I mentioned that I had no idea about my club position and where my club was during my swing, especially at the top, right? I played golf with some very good players. I happened to meet the current head coach for Lynn University. His name is Andy Walker. And Andy Walker was a tour player. Andy Walker won the NCAA Division I championship at Pepperdine. His team won it. And I forget the year. And he'll probably laugh at me because I forget the year. I know it was early 90s. But Andy went on to become a very, very competitive professional player, played on so many tours. And he's won, 5 national championships now as a coach at Lynn University. He's in Florida right now. I was playing a lot of golf with Andy back in the day. And back in the day for me is, right around, I'm going to say, between 2000 and 2006, 2007. Okay. Andy looked at me and he said, "You know what, Horne?" A lot of my friends call me Horne. He said, "You are the most flexible, strongest guy I've ever played golf with. And you have no idea where your club is. You have no idea if you're going to hit the ball right, left, high, low. You gotta learn where your golf club is." And when he said that to me, that changed everything, because my mind was focused on what my body was doing, and I had no idea how my hands were almost disconnected from my brain. It's like the club, I had something in my hands, but I didn't know where it was or what it was doing. All I know is that I wanted to turn and hit a ball, right? So that started me down the road of understanding how to stabilize body parts in order to rotate and move other parts. The golf swing is a very unnatural movement, biomechanically, anatomically. We ask our bodies to repeat an asymmetrical swing, meaning that we always load, if you're right-handed, to the right and release to the left. It's not balanced in that sense, right? It's a one-sided thing, and everything that I'd done up until that point physically was balanced. Okay, left to right, right to left, and I think that understanding that, for me, learning how to position to the right side of my body the same way every time, getting back to the center and finishing to the left side of my body in a different way, but yet the same way every time, made sense to me. So it kind of clicked after he said that. I started watching video and I'm like, wow, look where my club is. My club is laid off. Sometimes is way over on the other side. I was over the top. I was all kinds of things, Ryan. And when he said that, it really, really made sense to me physiologically, biomechanically. And I started to isolate. I became more consistent, and I actually became a really good ball striker. And I had to have develop the short game before that, because I had no idea where the ball was going to go. And so it was because of Andy's words that helped me figure out physiologically what I needed to do with my body to position the club in the same spot every time, or near that same spot every time. So thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's such a simple thing too. The words that he said were not complex. It was just, hey,
Yeah.
And words are so powerful.
They were. Those words are extremely powerful for me.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Well, I want an idea. I want to know.
Yeah.
So I figured it out, bro.
That's awesome. That's incredible. So we have TrueTurn now.
Yeah.
I've worked with training aids before. I've taught thousands of golf lessons. Some of my favorite tools to use for training golf lessons are a swing fan. If you're familiar with what a swing fan is.
Absolutely, I have one.
Okay. I love for me being a shorter guy, I love the medium-sized orange whip.
Yeah.
And then I like just a good old graphite shaft with a grip on it, no head.
Yeah. Yep.
And and I know there's other tools out there too. There's the speed sticks and tools like that too.
Yep.
And I think that those are definitely have their place and their purpose.
Without a doubt. All those things you mentioned are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with TrueTurn, I know that it's going to help increase stability. It increases range of motion, right? And it can also increase power through rotation, correct?
Without a doubt.
Okay. So
yeah. You're opening up a whole can of worms, Brian. there's a big can, man. I'm just waiting.
So with obviously you're not going to get the power. You're not going to get the results without putting in the reps, right? That's correct. That is just like anything in life. You don't build muscles without going to the gym and putting in the reps, right?
Absolutely.
what type of, I mean, I'm sure you use the TrueTurn on a regular basis, just as
Yes.
do a lot of your colleagues. What type of results could one expect? Not necessarily expect, but hope for in using this product on a regular basis.
Okay. So expect and hope. I'll go a step beyond that and tell you what you're going to get.
Okay, I love that.
So the True Turn is not, first of all, it's not a golf swing aid, right? The True Turn, in fact, is a grade 1 medical device. It's a device that is built and is engineered for thoracic rotation, for thoracic mobility. And what that means is you have 4 sections to your spine. You have your cervical spine, which is your neck. Okay. Yep. And it supports all the movement and motions of your skull, your head. Okay. It's very, very flexible, and it's very lightweight, and it's not robust. Okay. Then at the base of your neck, all the way down your back, containing every rib that you have, is your thoracic spine. Okay. It's the longest, largest segment of your spine. Okay. Then you have your lumbar spine, which is a very, very short segment of your spine. And it's not flexible at all. It's very limited in its ability to move. It was not designed to rotate, which means to twist. You know, when you bend over and say, oh, I twisted my back. Oh, I'm in pain. I twisted my back, right? That's because you used the wrong part of your back for rotation. Or the part of your back that was designed to rotate doesn't rotate very well. So you compensated and you asked for your lower back to do something that it wasn't made to do. Okay. 200 million Americans right now are walking around in back pain. It is epidemic. Okay. What you and I, we're sitting down right now, as are 47 million Americans who are at their desks right now, sitting down, working all day. You know, we're sitting on our sacral spines, our tailbones, right? So the largest, most dynamic section of your spine is your thoracic spine. Your thoracic spine alleviates and supports all that is above it and below it. Okay. So think about if you were to bend over and twist at the same time. Okay. You are using your spine dynamically. You're not using your spine like a robot. You're using your spine in the way that it was meant to be used, as one synergistic body part. Okay. The problem is when we sit for long periods of time, and or if we train our bodies diligently in the gym to build strength and not flexibility, not mobility, or we spend 90% of our time and effort getting strong and less than 10% getting mobile, then we are building an imbalance. That imbalance is going to register one day and I twisted my back, or I slept wrong on my back, and now there's so many ways to hurt your back. Okay. Now think about the biomechanics of golf. We have a forward bend, we have side bend, and we have rotation. Okay. Every golf swing requires forward bend, side bend, and rotation. It's biomechanically, it is a very, very, you're asking a lot of your spine. And most people don't treat their spines very nicely. We don't think about, oh, I'm going to wake up and work on my spine today. You know, we think about, I'm going to work on these biceps. I'm going to get my legs right. I'm going to get my booty right, right? I want my pecs, you know, my shoulders popping. Nobody's talking about their back. And if you want to play golf, you really need to focus on your back, Ryan. A very, very good friend of mine by the name of Peter Costas, Peter says, if you can't turn, you can't play. And he got that from a very good friend of his by the name of Sam Snead. He looked at him one day and he said, you know, son, if you can't turn, you can't play. Right? It's one of I love to hear Peter tell that story. And it's so true. This game is built on rotation. Okay? It's not built on heavy squats. It's not built on push-ups, pull-ups, burpees, all these other things that you want to do. It's built on rotation. And in order to maximize your rotation in your back, there are some other things that we have to do, right? We have 2 legs, 2 arms, and 1 spine. So to stabilize the rotation in the spine, we have to make sure that our base is strong. And that base are your legs and your hips and your glutes. Right? They have to be stable and strong enough to support the rotation of the spine. And the True Turn is designed to not only optimize the rotation of the spine, the True Turn, and that says a lot now, optimize the rotation and or function of your spine. That's a lot said there. Let me break it down. What that means is increasing range of motion, first of all, building the stability to support that range of motion, and then building the strength on top of that to increase the performance. And I'm talking about velocity, rotational speed, right? You touched upon something when you were asking me about the specifics of the True Turn and what it does. And you were talking about the orange whip and the speed stick and, you know, all these swing aids that are out there. The swing aids are great tools. They're great devices. They're very functional for golf specific training, right? Mm-hmm. Teaching, playing, path, all these things. They're great. The True Turn is, I would say, foundational, meaning that without rotation, you're only going to get so much value and use out of your orange whip, right? You're only going to get so much value and use out of your speed stick if your rotation is limited. Think about it, okay? So when I say that True Turn is foundational, it gives more value to every swing aid that's out there. And that's because it is a device that's made specifically for your spine and your hips. Okay. There are exercises on TrueTurnPro.com that show you how to utilize the True Turn for hip rotation, and that's internal and external hip rotation, and how to build stability in your spine, how to build stability in your hips, how to increase speed and strength in the hips and the spine. It's all there because that's what the tool was made for. It's not made, you know, to help you make putts. It is made to give you the spine that is going to get you from the first tee box to the 18th tee box. If you're playing just one day, if you're a weekend warrior, if you're a competitive player, you got 2 or 3, 4 rounds of golf ahead of you, True Turn is going to give you the stability, the strength, and the rotation to rely upon your back function to play your best game of golf and to utilize your swing aids, your whatever tools that you like to use. We are about facilitating back function, and that's what the True Turn Pro is built to do.
You know, as a swing coach and as a certified personal trainer, mm-hmm. You know, I've been obsessed with fitness for almost 13 years now. to the point where I've even created my own fitness program for, for my golfers to follow that want to get bigger, faster, and longer. Something like this, you couldn't have said it more perfectly, is foundational, because you can get bigger and you can get stronger, but if you can't turn, you can't play.
Yes,
And
right.
so with getting bigger and stronger, being able to rotate is that much more critical. And
Correct.
so, and yes, you can do things like yoga. You can do things like, just regular stretching. You can do dynamic warm-ups, things like that.
Yep.
This is a tool that, I can see, if you put in the reps and you put in the time with it, will dramatically increase the rotational ability and power, throughout.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this for a long time, working with performance athletes, and I've made some friends. I have some friends out there who are doing some cool things. One of my friends works for a high-tech branded golf product. It's called KVest. Are you familiar with KVest?
KVest, yes.
Okay. He is the director of education and golf and baseball for KVest, K Motion, which is the parent company. KVest is the technology, right? It's a bio-wearable device that you put on like a vest, and it measures the movement of your spine, chest, shoulders, and the movement of your hips. Right? So it is measuring separation. It measures the velocity. It measures just about everything you want. It can measure your ingredients for your chocolate chip cookies if you wanted to. It's just it's incredible, technology. I was fortunate enough to take the TrueTurn over into the laboratory to see what type of quantitative data we can produce with the TrueTurn. And TrueTurn is, if I were to give you, let's say, a stick, most people think that they can increase rotation with a stick. It's actually how I developed the technology of TrueTurn. A guy named Lucy came to me after having serious back surgery. He used L2, L3, L4, L5, and S1. So it's called lumbar spine and the top of his sacral spine are all fused. Okay. There are a million fusion surgeries done in the United States every year. Okay. Tom came to me at 70 years old, retired banker. Okay. He's been sitting his whole career and likes to play golf. Okay. If you sit for 8 hours a day and you like to play golf, can you hear me okay?
There's some Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's Wi-Fi, but there's definitely some interference going on that's kind of coming through in the audio.
Okay.
I don't. If you can maybe check your cell phone. If your cell phone is your cell phone near your computer?
Yep, it is.
Turn your Wi-Fi off on your cell phone. See if that helps.
All right.
I turned mine off too because I thought, well, maybe the data from the phone was interfering, but so.
All right, let's see if that works. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
All right. Well, so I was talking about how I developed the technology for TrueTurnPro. And so a guy came to me following fusion surgery on his lumbar spine, right? And he was 70 years old at the time. He asked me if I could help him restore some flexibility so that in his spine, so that he can make a bigger shoulder. Everyone wants to hit the ball farther, right? If you watch enough golf on TV, you marketing efforts, you may be led down a path that would have you think that you can go out and buy distance. You know what I'm saying? You want to hit the ball farther? Come buy this new ball or this new club. We'll guarantee you 10 yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being an expert yourself, you know the smoke and mirrors behind that, right? You want to go faster. You want to hit the ball farther. You have to go faster. You have to go faster, not your club, not your ball. You have to rotate and turn faster, which means you have to physiologically, biomechanically increase your ability to turn faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it, Brian. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say the True Turn, I developed it to restore rotation to an injured spine. So just think if it will work for an injured spine, and it does, because now the guy who I developed the True Turn for, he's 80. And he just told me a story yesterday. He's a member at an incredible golf club out here in Scottsdale. And he's on a par 4, hits his drive. He's got 165 to the pin. He's 80 years old, okay? He hit 7-iron over the green, all right? He's 80, bro. And chips up, makes the putt, makes par. But, I mean, you know, he's a good player. He shoots his age on a regular basis. This is after major spine surgery. I made the True Turn to restore his ability to turn. That's an injured spine. Just think if you have a non-compromised normal spine, what it's going to do for you if you put in the work. And he puts in the work. He works with his True Turn on a daily basis, at least 10, 15 minutes. Okay. He'll pick it up. He'll go through his progressions, his rotations, his side bends. He'll put on his band for power and speed work. And he's done. And he does it, I would say, almost on a daily basis, 5 days a week for sure. And he's just dedicated. Mm-hmm. When you have back surgery, it changes the way you think about your back, right? Yeah. So, you know, for all those people, True Turn is prevention, is therapeutic, and it's performance. Those are our 3 main applications. Okay, prevention, therapy, and performance. And it delivers. It does all these things. Too much to talk about on an hour show, actually.
For sure.
But I could keep going and going. You know, it's being utilized in physical therapy clinics. Like I said, I worked in the NBA for a while. I have friends. Houston Rockets have a number of True Turns. And we're just starting out. You know, we're young, fresh, new product, new company, and seeking growth. And you know, I appreciate opportunities like this to be on your show to talk about it. It's something I'm very excited about because it can help anyone. Okay, it's not made for golf. It's made for your spine. If you're a human being, you have a spine, 2 arms and 2 legs, and you want to use them better, TrueTurnPro is a product for you. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, you know, it's kind of it's a diamond in the rough, if I may say humbly. Yeah. Because it's covered up with all this coal and all this dirt and mud, and you know, we don't have the visibility or the eyeballs. But once we do, people will understand that, hey, wow, there's a tool, a device for my back that I could use as an office worker. I could sit down, grab my true turn, and make rotations or side bends, right? With or without the band, for stretching or for strengthening. And I told you that I would go a step further than saying what it could do or what you could expect. If you put it into reps, like you were talking about, you're going to gain range of motion, which is flexibility. You're going to gain much more flexibility, and you're going to stabilize and strengthen your spine. And if you want to turn it faster, guess what? You're going to rotate faster. But you got to follow the programs.
Got to put those reps in, and
you got to put those reps in, man.
Consistent. And it's funny too. You said that your 80-year-old friend. It doesn't take. You don't have to do it for an hour. You can do it 10 minutes a day. It's just. But it's about that consistency and just.
That's the word.
Following the program, and and same thing with golf. You can hit a small bucket of balls every day and stay super sharp.
Yep.
If you do it every day.
Yeah. Yeah. As opposed to going, a couple times a month and hitting 500 balls. Yeah. Not a good thing.
So I am very excited to work with this product. I like I said, I wouldn't promote something I didn't believe in, and I believe that this is something that is a game changer for sure.
I appreciate that.
Actually will change someone's game rather than, making them look better, making the golf bag look better.
Right.
So I will, what I'd like to do is, have you on again as a follow-up.
Sure.
I'm going to be working with this, and I'm going to work with it very aggressive. Well, I just shouldn't say aggressively, but very consistently.
You know what? I tell people all the time, man, go slow, because it's going to give you a stretch that you've never felt before. Okay. It's very, very effective. So it's best in small doses in the beginning.
Okay.
I don't want you to shock your spine and over rotate, because it's a leveraging device. I got a patent on the TrueTurn right away because of its configuration and its intended use. The configuration allows you to stretch yourself much further than you've ever been able to stretch yourself before. So that's why it's so effective, because of the energy that you're able to leverage through your body. So kinetic energy is, and you probably already know what kinetic energy is because you're a professional, but for those your listeners who don't understand what kinetic energy is, here's an example. Pick up a bowling ball, throw it down the lane. The velocity that you put forth to throw that ball, and that ball's in motion now, is kinetic energy. Okay. You cause motion to take place with your effort, your physical effort, right? The TrueTurn allows you to multiply your own kinetic energy to increase your ability to stretch yourself further than you could without a tool to stretch yourself. So if you were to take a broomstick and rotate it, you're only going to rotate so far because there's nothing to leverage. But the TrueTurn's configuration allows you to, when you grab it, it corrects your spine immediately just on the proper fit. Mm-hmm. Make sure your arms are fully extended, and the left handle actually pushes your right shoulder. The right handle pushes your left shoulder. And now you're able to leverage the energy in your hands and arms to turn your back. That's why it works. And when people feel it, they go, "Oh, wow." It happens 100% of the time. They say normally two things. They'll go, oh, wow, or they'll go, OMG, right?
Yeah.
Which one is one or the other, they're going to say. Man, and it's the coolest thing for me to see it happen. It's the coolest thing. I wish I could see you when have you tried it with the band yet?
Not with the band.
Oh man, dude, record that for me, please.
Okay.
Record yourself when you put the band on the True Turn and you make some rotations. I want to see your reaction.
That's actually what I wanted to ask you. One of the questions I had for you. The attachment on the band.
Yeah, the caliper.
So you have the carabiner, right? And then
Yes.
this goes into like a door. How do you attach this to a golf cart?
Okay, so you can. I called the carabiner a caliper the other just a second ago. You can take the carabiner, right?
Uh-huh.
You can loop the carabiner through your bedpost, a bench, a bar, or even your golf bag. You can just loop it through the handle on your golf bag, right? And now you got a noose.
Got
right?
it.
I take my True Turn to the range. I loop it through the handle of my golf bag, and I'm set up and ready to go. Right? That band is going to deliver up to 12 pounds of resistance.
Okay.
Right? It's about 8 to 12 pound resistance band, and when 12 pounds loaded specifically into your stabilizers, into your spine, is going to feel like 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a lot, right? But it's a beginning band, and anyone can use that band, even someone who's post-surgical, and, 70 years old, right?
Okay.
Anyone can use it. It's gentle enough. That's why it's beginning band. We will be offering accessories on TrueTurnPro.com, bigger, stronger bands, for bigger, stronger athletes that want to, go bigger, stronger, and further.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But that band right there, you're going to see is enough to make you go, oh, wow. Because it's going to engage your rotational muscles in a way that you've never used them before. And you can use them on any plane of rotation, flat plane to a very steep plane, to a very shallow plane, right? Baseball, hockey, tennis, lacrosse, golf, you name it. Any rotational plane, the True Turn is engineered to address.
That was one of my other questions was about the bands. So right now, because I saw Peter Kostis was using like a really thick band in the video.
Correct.
So is that like one of the bands that you guys are going to offer in the near future?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a nut, man. Peter uses his True Turn. I bet you he uses his as much, if not more, than I use mine. Dude, he is turning and rotating. His ability, he is put on distance, club head speed, ball speed, and Peter's 70-something years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he understands the importance of rotation and velocity of rotation, and he gets after it. That's why you saw he was on there with that big, long, monster black band. That thing, that band is registering in about 60 pounds.
Okay.
Right.
I was going to
Depending on how far you stretch it, obviously. But yeah, he gets after it.
So one last question.
Yep.
When it comes to thoracic extension,
Okay.
one of the things that I noticed with the True Turn is because it is stabilizing here in your chest, and then you're rotating, horizontally or diagonally, right?
Yep.
I guess my question is, will it improve thoracic extension in the impact area and follow through? And if so, how?
So if once you start working with your True Turn, I'll send you all different types of ideas. We are launching we're launching a program on the website, and it's called the Back Stabilization for Golf. Okay, it's a back stabilization program for golf, and in that we have exercises. There's going to be like 30 exercises loaded onto the website really quickly here, any day now, and so we have exercises for extension, flexion, side bend, all different types of stuff, right? If you can imagine, because you have good knowledge of biomechanics, if you hold your true turn on a flat plane, okay, it takes you into a neutral spine position. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so hold it out on a flat plane, and I want you to imagine. There you go. Tuck it underneath your armpit and set your width.
I saw that video.
Yeah, man. That's how you do it.
Oh, I got to get the other ones.
Yeah, you got to set your width. You should go on the white. The first notch. Yep. Both of them equally.
Okay.
Good. And all right, so you already got your length set, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to grab it on the green handles. Okay. Yep. So you should be about 45 degrees of horizontal abduction, right? You look good. Perfect. Okay. Now, hold it on a flat plane. Okay. Now I want you to imagine a load, a downward force. Okay. No rotation. Just hold it at address. And I want you to imagine if you were to load your band to one side and that band is straight down, it's vertical, applying a downward force to you, that's going to force your body up to work your extensors in your spine, right? Mm-hmm. Your postural muscles, your extensors, two big muscles that run along the side of your spine. Yeah. So imagine a resistance mechanism preventing you from doing that. Can you feel how you use your extensors? Yes. Yeah. That answers that.
I just got a crazy idea right now.
Of course you did. That's what happens when you pick it up.
So like basically taking a band on this side and attaching it to the ground.
Correct.
And a band on this side and attaching it to the ground. And then
correct.
Stabilizing the hips and working upwards.
Correct. Yep. Wow. And you can even add a squat to that, Ryan, on a box.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Now he gets it.
Okay.
It's unlimited what you can do, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Yeah. Now when you work rotation like that, keep your hips and your knees square. Don't let your hips and knees rotate. Only rotate your thoracic spine. Okay? Now do me a favor. Go into a quarter squat. Squat. Okay? Now rotate.
Okay, let's try that.
Yeah. Exhale when you rotate.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Okay. So let me show you a quick exercise that we do. It's called a corkscrew squat, like a corkscrew. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So hold it out on a flat plane.
Okay.
Yep. Take a step back. There you go. Now, as you go into a half squat, you're going to rotate to your backswing at the same time. Okay. So you're going to start standing up. You're standing upright. You're on a flat plane. True turn a little higher. Okay. Yeah, right there. Now, as you start to squat, you're going to squat and stay square in your hips and knees, but you're going to rotate as you go down into your squat at the same time. Ready? Yep. Now rise and come up like a corkscrew. And do 5 reps to your backswing, 5 reps to your follow through. And this is how we start our progression on rotation. Stay square in your hips and your knees as you rotate. Okay. So you pull with your right hand, push with your left hand to increase your rotation. Stay on a flat plane. That's better.
Yeah.
You're turning.
I feel my chest wanting to dip.
Yeah. Yep.
You put that chest up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
Really feel
See, you said it. You said it. You said it. You just said, wow. I told you. And that's with no resistance band.
Yeah. And you really feel it in your obliques too.
Absolutely.
So you said also on the follow through.
Yep. Do the same thing through the follow through. Yeah. No. Yeah. But there's no plane to it. You're on a flat plane the whole way. Slower, longer, stronger, slower. Use your breath. Inhale when you come up, exhale when you go down. Inhale. Now exhale when you go down. Inhale when you come up. Beautiful. Good job, man.
Yeah, I feel that.
So when you take it up top and you work lateral side bends, you have to make the arms 1 click shorter. So how many holes do you have showing?
3.
From the top. So it looks like you're on
3.
Yeah, well, we counted from the other side. So it looks like you're on 6.
Oh, okay.
Right? 6 or 7. Okay. So you would make it 1 click shorter, make the arm shorter. So click it up.
Okay.
Right. When you go up top, and it's just to accommodate room for your head.
Right. Okay. Do you want me to do that now?
We can do that later. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure? I can do it.
All right. Do it. I like to get a lateral stretch after that rotation that you just did.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go one more. Okay.
So you made the arm shorter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I thought you said longer.
No, you want it shorter. Yeah, shorter. That's too long. So make the arms. Now you got to go down 2 clicks.
2.
There you go. Yep. Yes. Nice long arms. Okay. Now spread your feet, get a little wide with your stance.
Okay.
Okay. And inhale at the top and exhale to the bottom. No rotation. You're going to stay flat. Stretch that lat. Good. Yeah. So it keeps your spine in the game. It doesn't allow you to use your arms. You have to use your spine instead.
I'm not even holding on with a full grip. I'm just holding on with my fingers.
With your fingertips. That's fine. That's all you need. Yeah. Exhale to the bottom. You don't want to hold your breath down there.
Oh, no. Exhale to the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, exhale to the bottom. Inhale to the top. Let it out. Inhale up. There you go.
You get a deeper stretch when you're exhaled.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. OMG.
Yep. One or the other, or both. There's some other choice words I've heard too.
Yeah, and that's the second time I've worked with it, but it's going to start to be a daily thing. So, what I'm excited for the results. I'm excited to work with it. Are there any? Are there anything? Excuse me. Is there anything that I should look out for in doing this regularly? I know you said less is more in the beginning.
Yes.
Um,
That's the main thing.
okay.
Yeah. That's the main thing. You don't want to bite off too much early on because it's so effective. It's new, it's different. Your body needs opportunity to adapt to the demands that the tool will place upon your spine and on your hips. So you don't want to throw yourself into the fire right now. Just introduce it gently.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's the most important thing I could tell you. Make sure that you keep your arms extremely straight, because the more extension in your arms, the more isolation we can get out of your spine. Yep. And that's in all in your rotation too, not just your lateral flexion, what you're just doing. So when you start to rotate on a golf plane, make sure that your arms are extremely straight and that you are very mindful of where your hip position should be. Okay. Yeah.
Now, excuse me, where can the listeners of this podcast find you if they want to, ask questions, or if they want to buy a True Turn?
TrueTurnPro.com.
TrueTurnPro.com. Awesome.
Yep. Everything's there.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I really I was going through the website. I really like the way that you guys have that website designed and laid out. It's super simple. It's clean.
Cool.
You're not, you don't have to like dig around like you're looking for something.
Took really years to get it there. It took a long time to get it there.
Whoever's your web guy is doing a good job.
Yeah. There's actually a team. My marketing manager, Lauren Brown, and my web developer, Michael Cohen, man, they've never met. They just met virtually through, Zoom. And they got it together, man. It was the website has been up for a while, but over the last 9 months, it's really, really taken on a change. And that's because of those two people. Yeah. So my hat's off to them.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah.
Well, Carl, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for my True Turn, and I'm so excited to check in with you in the next couple of weeks. We'll probably do like a 6-week follow-up.
Cool.
I'm gonna send you some videos of myself doing the exercises and working with it.
Yeah.
And
there'll be a lot of growth in the next 6 weeks, man. You'll see.
I'm excited. We got to get together. We got to play some golf too.
Hey, I'll drive out there. You're only 3 hours away from me, I think.
Okay. Well, all of the courses out here are going to start opening up now because they're going out of their overseed and into prime time. So,
sure. Yeah.
So it's going to be. You have to
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Willow or something.
Sounds great.
All right.
All right, Brian.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
And thank you for everybody who's listening. And as always, aim small, swing smooth. Peace.